With Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 48 now officially in the history books, we've come to realize that Moro in the previous manga chapter had not only made the wish in having his full magic be restored to him and finally have the long-awaited wish that he so desperately wanted be granted to him, but by the end, we've also come to the horrifying realization that Moro in fact had used Porunga in making a second secret wish unbeknownst to Goku and Vegeta, in which as Goku had confronted him alongside Vegeta and asking further as to what Moro had wished for, Moro simply had to reply by telling both Goku and Vegeta that he no longer had any interest in fighting against them and that they will soon understand before completely disappearing. Now, to clarify further, the reason why Goku wasn't able to use instant transmission in stopping Moro from making these wishes prior was because in Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 46 and number 47, Goku had absolutely no energy to use instant transmission, being the fact that Moro was able to subconsciously drain Goku of his powers, as also seen in Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 47 when Moro had completely decimated and beaten both Goku and Vegeta, and with the Grand Supreme Kai having to restore Goku and Vegeta's power back to full strength by the end of manga chapter number 48, the question lingers, what exactly was the wish that Moro had made that he refuses to tell Goku and Vegeta? As we are going to be tackling several subjects and concepts in this video, as once more before we begin, if you are new to this channel and of course love anime and Dragon Ball and can't wait for Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 49, then be sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload, including the upcoming spoilers for Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 49 and potentially the big news in regards to the anime having to return. Now, one of the first most popular responses that I've gotten in my Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 48 review was the concept and idea of Moro having to wish for immortality, that way he stays immune to anybody having to damage him any further. Now, this concept would make sense if in fact we did go into a direction that skewed away from the original narrative of Zamasu in Dragon Ball Super. Now, there have been many villains in the Dragon Ball franchise that desperately wanted to become immortal, one of the most popular having to be Frieza in Dragon Ball Z, and besides Garlic Jr., who also became immortal in Dragon Ball Z, the only other person that was able to do so in having their wish be granted to become immortal was Zamasu. So I don't see Moro having to factor in having all of his magic restored and being immortal at this point when we just came off of having a fallen Kaioshin in training who wanted to become the very essence of what he believed in, hence wanting to be indestructible and wishing for his immortality. So I don't think that Moro going forward would even want to be immortal to begin with, especially if he feeds off of the living energy of the universe. I don't see why Moro would want to wish for that, especially if he's been around for a very long time, hence 10 million years prior to having to fight against the Grand Supreme Kai. So if you think about it, if Moro did wish for immortality, why wouldn't he tell Goku and Vegeta? Zamasu told Goku and Vegeta, and it really didn't change anything other than their strategy. So I don't see this being a thing, especially if Moro alluded to wanting to ask Porunga if he was able to make that specific wish possible for it to happen. So if that were to be the concept and idea, I really don't see how this would skew away from the original narrative and Moro not simply having to tell Goku and Vegeta, by the way, I can't die, so no matter what you do, you will fail nonetheless. So I think that it's considerable, especially if immortality is a thing for Moro, because how scary would it be for Moro to not only have his full magic restored in what makes him a deadly person to begin with, but also being indestructible by nature itself. I think that going forward, only then would you have to call for a drastic measure in including someone way more powerful than Goku and Vegeta to get the job done, and I really don't think that we're going to go down that path and having that happen yet again following the events of Merge Zamasu. However, what if his secret wish was to make himself immune from having his magic be taken away from him? That is a very, very feasible thing, and it's very logical when it comes down to Moro knowing what the Daikaio is capable of and not wanting history to repeat itself and having his magic be taken away once again. So between the immortality factor and the factor of him having to be immune from the Daikaio's attacks, I would have to agree and lean more towards the immunity factor, because if Moro had been around for such a long time feeding on the very life energy of planets, animals, people, having to devour the energy and life essence of millions, perhaps billions around the entire universe, I don't see Moro having to consider something other than having to protect himself against the very danger that allowed him to remain captive to begin with, which again could be a feasible thing. I don't see Moro having to wish for a power beyond what he has currently. I don't see him having to wish for a power that even transcends the Grand Supreme Kai, or even wanting to be a god of destruction, an angel, becoming the king of the multiverse. I really don't see that being a considerable factor for Moro's character, because Moro is a direct representative of evil incarnate itself, and that is due to him wanting to feast on the flesh and the fear of every living inhabitant of the universe itself, as we've seen originally as he was heading towards planet Namek in his search for the Dragon Balls. However, even then, one of the other ideas and concepts that Moro could have wished for is the death and destruction of the Grand Supreme Kai. And if you think about it, what other person within that group currently stands a greater chance or threat to Moro other than Goku and Vegeta? The Grand Supreme Kai. And you can make the argument in saying that Goku and Vegeta do possess the powers within themselves to perhaps maybe kill Moro, but who is the one individual that's able to take the one thing that Moro is very useful with and what makes him whole away from his very possession? The Grand Supreme Kai, in being the fact that he's able to take away his magic from him. Remember, from the beginning of this entire arc, it was heavily implied that what makes Moro very dangerous in this entire scenario is his magic. You take away his magic, and he is a ghost, a shell of who he originally was. And with that, I do believe that perhaps maybe this secret wish was somehow a direct influence and perhaps maybe impact on the Grand Supreme Kai. And it's not really outside of the realm of possibility for this to happen, especially if he wished for something to directly impact the Daikaio going forward. But however, I do also want to talk about one of the popular things going around, which is the possibility of Moro opening the floodgates for the next arc after his initial battle against Goku, Vegeta, and the Grand Supreme Kai. Now, what I mean by this is the possibility that Moro is perhaps not acting alone and instead either is in cooperation with someone or has allies in doing something that's going to affect the entirety of Dragon Ball Super going forward. Now, one of these concepts could be the possibility of finally introducing the canon version of the Demon Realm in Dragon Ball Super. Now, why would Moro want to wish for the Demon Realm to finally open up if so far we know that he's been acting alone this entire time? Well, to that I would say it's not unlikely for Moro to be a rogue in this entire situation. However, for him to regain his magic and then go further on to make a wish that's so impactful in allowing another dimension to open up within the current one now would not only set the precedent in having this specific wish affect Dragon Ball Super in the long run, but also seeing that even if Moro were to be defeated or captured, his wish, even though gone from the story, is still impactful to Goku and Vegeta. And the only other way I could see this being a thing is if Moro actually had done something to either open up the floodgates to a different dimension, such as perhaps maybe the Demon Realm, or maybe even resurrect an ally, a comrade, or something along the lines to where we know definitively he's not acting alone. As I do think out of all the concepts and ideas, this would by far be one of the most sinister if Moro were to make a wish that could potentially directly lead into the next arc, or perhaps maybe something involving another arc down the line where the direct influence came from Moro's wish directly. And how awesome would it be if Moro perhaps was the sole person responsible in opening up a portal or a gateway to a different dimension such as the Demon Realm, introducing concepts from that dimension, from that specific world, and then perhaps if they want to incorporate the factor of the time patrollers down the line, or even encompass something else involving our secondary characters, or perhaps even primary ones, in sending Goku and Vegeta off into the Demon Realm to close the portal off, or perhaps maybe having to fight off against an ally of Moro's that was brought back at some capacity. That in and of itself would be a good thing, and I don't think that right now they should go about wasting this wish and having the wish itself be very minute, and perhaps Moro having to wish wish to grow in size, or maybe perhaps to live a bit longer, that would be a little stupid and a complete waste of a very high potential wish. But be that as it may, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below as to what you guys think Moro's second wish could possibly be. Is it to be immune to the Daikaio's magic? Did Moro in fact wish for immortality? Did he wish for something to happen to the Grand Supreme Kai? Did he perhaps open up another portal or dimension to an outside world? Did he perhaps resurrect an ally and or comrade to further aid him in battle? Anything is possible, as I do believe that the conclusive battle involving Moro will happen in Dragon Ball Super Manga chapter number 49, unless they plan to further extend the arc down the line just for a few more chapters. And really everything is up in the air at this current point in time. Lots of Dragon Ball Z vibes dating back to Goku versus Frieza, except now Moro actually made the wish and Frieza at the time did not. So again, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once more, if you guys are stoked, ready, and excited for Dragon Ball Super Manga chapter number 49 and more, then be sure to go ahead and punch that subscribe button, slap a like down below by giving this video a big thumbs up. Also guys, if you guys have any theories, comments, or speculations of your own in regards to Moro's wish, then be sure to go ahead and drop your comments down in the comment section below. I will be back tomorrow for a big discussion involving Moro versus Fusion down the line, as I do have some things to say in regards to the Fusion concept versus Moro, so you guys might not want to go ahead and miss out on that video. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for your time. I hope you guys enjoyed again. I really hope that this wish isn't something scrubby, and I don't really think it is, but I do feel as if a lot of us are perhaps maybe overlooking something, because with Moro having to be a very smart character, I don't think that he's going to wish for something so small or insignificant enough to where it doesn't make sense in the Dragon Ball franchise. However, I do think that whatever wish he did make is really going to impact the story going forward, and I'm really looking forward to that. So again, thank you all so much for watching, guys, once more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up, on? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Frieza.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!